Understanding EIPCA's federal legislative proposal, an article series brought to you by Election Integrity Project California, Part 6, The Case for a National Voter Database. Studying each article in this series will provide you with the information you need to be instrumental in supporting EIPCA's proposal, which would reverse the demise of election integrity nationwide. Please do not miss a single article in this series designed to foster your understanding of our proposal. If you do, you may access them at the link in this article. And while you are on the website, sign up to receive all future articles directly to your inbox. Currently, there is no way for any state in the union to ensure that any of their voters are not registered and voting in more than one state. As cited in EIPCA's proposal, the Center for Economic Policy Research, Double Registration and Strategic Voting Access Across State Lines by Joseph Dahl et al., which is linked in this article, identifies with 99% certainty nearly 600,000 known double registrants and estimates the actual number to be over 6 million individuals registered and voting in more than one state. There is something states can do to lower these numbers. The National Change of Address, NCOA, is a source of matching relocated individuals that should be removed from their current registration status. But California and some other states do not aggressively access and use this readily available federal database. To his credit, a California legislator proposed a bill in 2025 that would have required the Secretary of State to seek an arrangement with NCOA to obtain and use the system to determine who qualifies to vote. Inexplicably, the California legislature killed the bill. But even if a state were to assiduously make use of the NCOA, the result would be less than adequate. According to the United States Postal Service, USPS, only about 40% of individuals register their change of address with the USPS when they move. If a voter does not submit a change of address, the move is not reflected in the NCOA database. Though voters who register to vote in a new location are asked to indicate a previous registration elsewhere, if they fail to do so, no one will be aware that registering that individual now creates a duplicate that would allow that individual to vote in two places virtually undetected. Even if the voter does provide that information, there is no guarantee the new state or jurisdiction will pass the information on to the previous jurisdiction. If the information is forwarded appropriately, the previous jurisdiction may still fail to cancel the original registration. There are just too many circumstances for error. As a result, individuals who move remain on the voter rolls and are easy to impersonate. This is especially easy to and undetectable in states like California, where no form of voter ID is required to vote. There have been efforts to create cross-state check programs, but they have failed spectacularly, one due to politics and one due to unacceptable sub-agendas. Even had they been viable, any such database would fail in its purpose if all states were not engaged. Keeping up with the death of registered voters is equally problematic. The Social Security Death Index is a good source for states to use to determine deceased individuals still on their voter rolls. However, not all voters are receiving Social Security benefits, and therefore their demise would not be reflected on the Social Security Death Index. Hospitals and mortuaries do not report deaths to the county elections office, and relatives often do not think to report their loved one's death to elections officials. As a result, many deceased individuals remain on the voter rolls at least 2 years and often much longer until their electoral inactivity triggers an official inquiry via postcard. Some states do have ways to verify the citizenship of the registrants on their rolls. The U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services a component of the Department of Homeland Security, offers SAVE, an online service for registered federal, state, territorial, tribal, and local government agencies to verify immigration status and U.S. citizenship. But its use is purely voluntary, and currently only 26 states utilize this excellent source to identify and remove illegal registrants from their voter rolls. Specific state laws exacerbate the problem. For example, in California, elections officials at all levels are forbidden access to citizenship information that might allow them to remove ineligible voters from the state and voter database. This threat to election integrity is compounded in states like California that mail ballots to all active voters on the state registration list without ensuring eligibility. A nationwide voter database of all 50 states, managed by strong citizen oversight, would diminish, to rare exceptions, the number of registrants unlawfully on the rolls. Such a database would allow managers and auditors to ensure no voter is able to be registered or vote in more than one state or vote while ineligible. Allow managers to look for death records outside the Social Security Death Index to ensure state rolls are regularly purged of deceased registrants. Eliminate the inequality of effort and responsibility from one state to another, and hold every state equally responsible to maintain virtually completely accurate voter rolls. Make it highly difficult for illegal votes to be cast and counted. An essential component of EIPCA's proposal for a nationwide voter database is that there be citizen oversight and consistent auditing with DOJ type efficiently. The members of the Citizen Oversight Panel should be selected for their expertise and experience in data analysis and limited to short terms of service. The database must not be managed principally by the federal government in order to create protection against bureaucratic corruption. A national database will ensure that when a voter seeks to register in the state where the voter currently resides, any other states in which the voter was previously registered will be informed. In states like California, which send out vote-by-mail ballots to all active voters, removing an ineligible voter from the voter rolls will also prevent an absentee ballot from being sent to an improper address. Unaccounted for absentee ballots are prime targets for bad actors. Finally, there should be standards, auditable and verifiable by the Citizen Oversight Panel, by which states must maintain their own databases, including checking voter rolls against jury forms, DMV files, Department of Health, and other government records, as well as hospital death records and mortuary records. Elections have consequences. Federal elections have national consequences, and it is therefore the duty of Congress to ensure that states are maintaining equal and sensible measures to ensure the right of all citizens to a fair, equal, and undiluted vote. We remind you to review and engage in the action steps listed in Part 4 of this series, linked in this article. Spread the word across the country and start and continue a consistent campaign of contacting your federal representatives regarding the EIPCA proposal. Let's make this happen.